Welcome back. Adding texture and depth, bringing creations to life are some of the reasons why 3D animation is so fascinating. Danielle Lamont is no rookie when it comes to this idea. She's product manager at Alias, which has been involved in Oscar award-winning films like Ryan and Spider-Man 2. And she joins us now along with product specialist Rob Ormond, who is going to give us a demonstration. Thank you both for coming. I know the weather's not all that great. So we're going to talk 3D animation. And the program involved is called Maya?
That's right.
How does that work?
Maya is a 3D computer animation product. You can do modeling, animation, lighting, texturing. It's really a complete 3D solution, and it's used in all types of films, commercials, and medical visualizations. And Rob can do a demonstration for us. I'll defer to the expert to show us a little bit of how it works.
Okay, so what are we looking at here?
So this is Maya. So this is our latest version of Maya. So this is Maya 6.5. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about character creation in Maya, so how you actually create characters with Maya. So here you see in the viewport, I've got my character, which has been modeled already. And I'm going to talk about the process of setting up for animation, so sort of setting things up for an animator. So the first thing that you typically need to worry about is setting up the skeleton. So you're going to see here that underneath this character mesh, we have a skeleton. And it's very similar to a skeleton in a human being. You have joints, which are the points of articulation where you rotate. So I'll have a joint at my shoulder, my elbow, my wrist, etc., so that there is the articulation at that point. So once you create your skeleton, you associate it with the mesh. So you actually bind the mesh to the skeleton, so the mesh goes along for the ride. And then lastly, what you'll typically do is set up a control mechanism for the animator to animate. So it makes it easier for the animator to control the skeleton. In this case, you'll see that these circles, if I select them and start moving them around, you can see that I can start posing my character in order to animate him. And you'll see that I've got controls for things like the elbows. I also have controls for the feet built in here, and overall controls that allow me to move this character around.
So as you're making the character move step by step, are you recording each step so that it can do it on its own?
What you're doing is you pose your character and you set what are called keyframes.
Yes.
So you set frames in time, so you're saying, okay, at this point in time the character is here, at this point in time the character is somewhere else.
And then it will move from point to point.
Yes, from point to point. And I can show you a quick example of that. I'm just going to switch over to another character. So this is the same character already animated, so somebody's gone in and set up some animation for him, so we can take a look at him just going along here.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
That's the basics of setting something up in Maya.
How quickly does it take to create a character like that and have him move?
It all depends on the character. I rigged this character yesterday in around 2 hours, so the actual rigging process took me around 2 hours. It can take anywhere from a few days to weeks to set up a character, depending on how complex it is.
I guess the days of your pencil and you scribbling on a piece of paper and flipping it are gone.
They're going away for sure.
So how easy is it to use this kind of program? Do you have to be skilled like Rob, or can anybody take this kind of program on and create characters?
Well, it depends on what level you're going to use Maya at. I mean, obviously for something like Spider-Man 2, the people animating the characters in that type of film have been using Maya for a long time, and they're probably considered experts. But it's something that a number of different people, we get student submissions from people as young as 11, and it's really impressive what they're able to do with the technology. So we're really committed to educating, and so Alias produces a lot of products to help people learn how to use Maya and the other applications that we create. So definitely, if there's interest, there are options for a learner, and they can get results very quickly.
And what's amazing is 3D animation has come a long way. You know, Spider-Man 2, it doesn't look like an animation. It looks like a real character.
3D animation pops up in places where you don't even know you're looking at it, and everything from commercials where you're looking at a car that it doesn't even exist yet, and they're driving it down a street that isn't there either. So it's definitely about mimicking reality.
Right. And we're actually watching a clip here from the Oscar award-winning Ryan.
Ryan, yes.
And so how long did it take to create something like this?
Chris Landreth, who is a former Alias employee and the director of this film, spent 3 years actually working on this film. It was something that he conceived, and it was a production in association with the National Film Board and Copperheart Entertainment, and he worked with students at Seneca College, and they worked on it over the course of 3 years, so it was a big investment for a 14-minute film.
Right. Now, I know animation has become so popular, you know, with all these movies like Shrek and Spider-Man. Do you think, and this is a question of did the egg come before the chicken or vice versa, but do you think it's because of the popularity of animation that we are seeing programs like Maya come out, or is it vice versa? Because we have the technology, people are experimenting with this new medium.
Alias has been in the 3D business really since the inception of computer graphics. So starting over 20 years ago with a product called Power Animator. And so we've had relationships with the studios that have been, you know, breaking ground in all of this technology from the beginning. So it's been really interesting to watch that evolution. And a company like Alias has been a part of that from the beginning. So that's really exciting for us.
So it certainly has helped in the world of filmmaking.
Oh yeah, there are things that you can do today that, you know, when you look back to the early special effects movies, that, I mean, those were fantasies at the time, and now they are reality.
And now is it also, there's a book about it as well, The Art of Maya?
Yes, we've just released The Art of Maya, which is a 3rd edition of this book that explores 3D computer graphics. It does everything from look at introductory art concepts that like a photographer would be familiar with lighting and shading and animation principles. So it's really a visual exploration of 3D computer graphics, and we've also got a section that looks at production stories, so how companies have used Maya, and it covers everything from things like The Lord of the Rings with Gollum, who's a completely 3D character, and to medical visualizations where doctors are actually performing virtual operations before they ever touch a patient. So it's really something that has gone from just an entertainment application all the way through to saving lives.
That's amazing. Now, I'll get you to hold up that book, only because I'd like our viewers to see it. We're giving away 4 of these copies, which will be so great, because it's just such a fascinating aspect of filmmaking and computer technology. And so do you think this will be interesting for even somebody who may not be in those areas?
Absolutely. The really great thing about this book is that it's something that if you're just interested in art, it's a book for an artist. It really talks about the art of Maya. So you get a sense of, you know, how do I create surfaces? How do I achieve, as you know, dark contrast lighting and things that an artist would be familiar with. So you don't really need a strong background in computers to enjoy this book.
Okay, we're giving away 4 of those, so that's very exciting. I thank you so much for both of you coming in today, and it was an amazing demonstration. Thank you.
Can I just say also that if anyone is interested in 3D and would like to know more, we would encourage them to come to alias.com, because we have a trial version of Maya, so they can download it and go start playing and start learning for free.
Hey, that's great. So what's the website again?
Alias.com.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, both of you, for coming in.